Hello. In this video, we will understand the concept of NTP. In fact, we will share some scenarios demonstrating the need for NTP service and also touch base on key appliance and cloud-based NTP providers which are incumbent in the market. So, here we start. Here are the fundamentals of the NTP service. When we expand NTP, it is an abbreviation which expands to Network Time Protocol. It is basically used to synchronize system clocks across the networks, which may be router, switch, firewall, servers, and all that infrastructure. It works on an hierarchical model, which is called a client server model. And finally, it works on UDP protocol, port number 123, which we will discuss about in the later slides. Here is an example of Linux server for which the cron job has been scheduled for 2 a.m. But because the NTP is not properly configured, instead of 2 a.m., this happens at 11 a.m. The problem is when 11 a.m. the upgrade or the patch updates happens, at that time the production was working. Users were sitting who were accessing the Linux server and doing their day-to-day official job. And this resulted in the downtime of the server and hence the loss of revenue, which is a colossal problem for the businesses. This is one-off case. Now let's move on to another scenario. Here we have two routers, router 1 and router 2, between which there was a link failure. However, when the administrator logs into router 1 and looks at the logs, he sees that it was at early morning 6 a.m. that the logs are generated and it shows the link fluctuated for 2 minutes. However, when the administrator looks into the other router, it is showing that it was at 8 a.m. This causes the confusion whether it was at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. there was a fluctuation. Reason being the NTP is not properly configured, or rather the internal clock has been configured on the router. So because of this NTP problem, the RCA or the zero in on when the problem actually occurred becomes a problematic scenario. Hence, a lot of overhead, a problem for the administrators and upkeep of the setup in that case. So this is another scenario where NTP is not configured and hence the problem occurs. Now let's discuss about hierarchical design of NTP. NTP is not like a flat type of setup, it is working in hierarchy, which uses the concept of stratum, which is stratum 0, which being the closest one or it defines the accuracy, and the 15 being the least accurate of all the time beings. So stratum, as I earlier discussed, is the accuracy of time. In other words, it defines the distance or hop of the original reference from the others. So let us say the original reference is called the atomic clock or maybe the GPS clock. So it has always got a stratum value of 0. Now, when the clients take a reference from this server, in that case, a plus one of stratum is added into that. So this client takes the clock and becomes stratum 1. And in the same way, other clients which are taking stratum value or the time value from the S1, they will become S2 and hence S3. This is how the hierarchy happens. Hence, the lower the stratum number, more accurate the time is, which is the lowest is the S0 in that case. In addition to that, it is important to share that NTP listens on UDP port number 123. That is what the NTP server will listen on. In this slide, we will understand the NTP key service providers across appliance-based solutions and the cloud-based solutions. So let's start with the appliance-based solutions. So Meanberg is the provider or is the vendor which provides high precision time servers and GPS enabled NTP solutions. Next is the microchip, which offers atomic clocks and NTP appliances, and especially it is popular in the telecom domain and the scientific research area. Next is the time tools, which is specialized in NTP servers for SMB environment and small business and enterprises. So this is about the appliance-based solutions and their vendors. Now talking about the cloud providers. So as we all are aware, AWS, Azure, GCP, and not to forget Microsoft. So these are providing free public NTP service for the customers. And let's talk about Microsoft, which is providing Windows time service for Windows infrastructure, which is used in our enterprises and in our offices. So this is about the cloud providers and the appliance-based providers or the vendors which are incumbent in the market. That takes us to the end of the presentation. Hope the NTP related information was informative and helped you elucidate upon its concept and related details. Thank you.